Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of TBR. And I'm George Binns. And we're very fortunate this evening to have with us our State Senator, Joan Lovely. Welcome, Joan.
Thank you, George. Nice to be back.
And I guess we were talking a little bit, and it's getting to be a busy season downtown.
It is a very busy season on Beacon Hill.
You think it was, what, 6,000 bills?
Over 6,000 bills got filed this session, and every bill has to have a hearing, a public hearing, so the public can come in and weigh in on the bill, whether they're in favor or opposition. We need to hear from the public. So the joint committees have been meeting since March, beginning of March, and it's been very busy. And so every bill needs to be heard by the first Wednesday in December. And so we are quite busy hearing bills right now.
Yeah, that's a pushback, isn't it, from what you normally do?
It is. We moved that. We call that Joint Rule 10 Day, and it's under Joint Rule 10. And it used to be the first Wednesday in February, but we intentionally pushed that date back to force us to get this work done earlier in the session. So we have more time, because once these 6,000 bills are heard, then each one needs to be contemplated whether they're going to move forward through the legislative process. That gives both the House and the Senate, the members, and as importantly, our staff, the time to really make sure that we've got that work complete.
So of all the bills going through, what are the ones that have a local impact?
So this is an interesting bill, and this is a bill that I have filed now for the second session. And it requires, it's about commuter rail pedestrian safety. So the depot rail station doesn't have any gates or any audible warnings when someone's crossing one side of the tracks to the other, whether you're on the depot restaurant side or the other side. And there was a tragic death a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
A man, Dr. Moses Shamo, was killed walking his bicycle across the tracks. He did not hear or see the train coming. And that is preventable.
Yeah.
And so when we have these at-grade crossings or at-grade stations, there needs to be safety measures in place. So we have filed this bill, and we are working very diligently with the Department of Transportation to put these safety guards in place. So this won't happen again.
Yeah. There's been a lot of action about the MBTA. Mostly it's in the Boston area where they have the big challenges, but I'm not sure exactly how the system's running, because every so often I will see an MBTA bus coming back from Gloucester or something like that. And I'm not sure what the conditions of the tracks are around this area or from here on north. Is that something that's being worked on?
We do have, an aging rail system.
Yeah.
And so those tracks are replaced. You will see actually not far from here that they've got, the big railroad ties stacked up.
Yeah.
So as rails need to be changed out, they are, to make sure that everything is safe.
Yeah.
And but we're looking to move towards electric rail, much faster, more frequent service, and the Department of Transportation is moving fairly rapidly at that goal.
Yeah, I like the idea of electric rail, because basically electric motors are a lot more reliable. They don't break down as much as diesel-fired ones.
Right.
A little quieter too.
Much quieter.
Yeah.
Cleaner.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that helps a lot of things.
Yeah.
So what else is going on besides?
Well, you know what? This is a bill. I think this may your viewers might find this interesting. I was approached by a Peabody resident, actually, whose son had both physical and intellectual disabilities, and one of his disabilities is not being able to get up from a chair. He has no arms, right? So he'd have to use the table to lift himself. He was a good-sized man, and so when he would lift from the table could shift.
Oh yeah.
Right? And he enjoyed going out to eat, and it got to the point where he was not able to go out to eat, because if he didn't have arms to be able to get him up and down from that chair, then he didn't want to chance it.
Yeah.
So his mother approached us and said, is there any way that we can require a certain amount of chairs, not every chair in a restaurant to have arms, but if someone requested an armchair, could they
Yeah.
get one? So we have filed a bill that would require just 5% of seating in public restaurants to have armchairs
Yeah.
upon request. I need an armchair. Older people, you just need that more stability.
Oh, yeah.
Especially someone who may have a balance problem. You don't want them to fall. The armchairs would help them. So we have filed that bill. It had its hearing. This mom came in and testified on behalf of her son, who has since passed away just earlier this year. But she feels so strongly in this that she would like to be able to see this happen. So this is how we respond to constituent requests.
Yeah.
This seems pretty reasonable,
Yeah.
wouldn't you say? And do we need to legislate to have it happen? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's the other part.
But it creates the conversation. So we've
Yeah.
been in touch with the Mass Restaurant Association and different restaurants to see if can you have just even a couple of armchairs, so that if someone makes that request.
Yeah. And like you said, you think this is common sense, and they ought to have this. And
Right.
common sense ain't so common.
Sometimes it isn't. One other bill I wanted to mention is a diaper benefits pilot program. So diapers are expensive,
Oh, geez, yeah.
right? So for these young parents or single parents who are trying to properly, keep their infant or toddler properly diapered, you go to CVS or not singling out CVS, any store
they're
to
all
purchase,
the same, yeah.
they're expensive.
Yeah.
And so what we want to do is make sure that diapers are available at our food pantries, that they're available. You can't get them under SNAP benefits. So SNAP is like food stamps, it used
Yeah.
to be called. No, diapers are not covered.
Oh,
Now that, to me, that's a necessity
Yeah.
for an infant. They're not covered. So we want to make sure that they're covered and available so that people who qualify, are able to properly diaper their infants. We have seen and heard cases where disposable diapers will be recycled, and it's not healthy. And it's only out of necessity that a parent might have to do that. We want to change that.
yeah. I remember in the old days, we got a bucket, throw the diaper in the bucket, and when it gets
Right.
full, into the washing machine it goes.
That's right. That's right.
So it was the do-it-yourself project back then.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's some of the bills that we're working on.
Yeah, I remember the first time we did that, we had a diaper service, and we rinsed out the diapers and throw them in the bucket. And the guy came in and picked it up and, whoa, you got to wring them out first.
Oh, right.
You do
Nah.
go that extreme, throw it in the washing machine.
I'm a twin, so my father used to tell us stories that when we were infants, that my father was in charge of diapers. When he got home from work, the diapers, he would take them, rinse them out. They didn't have a diaper service. He would make sure they were washed, dried, and ready for the next day. So.
Oh, yeah, so,
But even cloth diapers are expensive too in a diaper service. So it almost mirrors or does mirror. I mean, it's been a long time since I've bought diapers, but it's just too costly.
yeah. Well, everything is costly, and that's really a fundamental problem that
It's true.
there was an article I stumbled across today where the current generation is complaining about the people that grew up in the early 50s and that generation because, well, they were the ones that set this program up that's been increasing in costs of everything, and it's all their fault. So, but it's a real problem. We got into this, I think, with the Rep. Bowen about housing. Most couples can't afford to buy a house.
Right.
And the whole concept of the American dream is getting rewritten.
Well, we have a supply and demand problem.
Yeah.
Not enough supply, too much demand. And, I understand why interest rates are higher than they were, to really hold back inflation.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that aren't going to trade their 3% or 2.5% mortgage. They may want to size down.
Yeah.
But they're sitting on a mortgage, to be able to sell and then mortgage and go into a new place and paying at 6 or 7%.
Yeah.
Double? More? Not going to do it. So We need to move our inventory. We need more inventory.
Yeah, that's
no
the-
doubt. And these ADUs, these accessory dwelling units, that allows families to double up again, but still live separately
Yeah.
in the same structure. It's really quite. I think if it really takes off, it could really be helpful.
Yeah. Well, again, it's back to the good old days where the path to success was you bought a triple decker
That's right.
and you lived on the first floor,
Yeah.
and grandma lived up on the second floor, and then somebody else lives on the third floor.
Right.
So you had two people helping you pay off the mortgage.
Right.
And that just fell out of favor. And
Yeah, we've seen a lot of condo conversions, of triple deckers, and
Yeah.
that creates home ownership, but that also takes away rental units and
Yeah.
the ability to be able to rely on rent to help pay your mortgage.
yeah, so the other interesting one was Austin, Texas,
All right.
had a problem where rental prices were going out of sight. They caught a period of time when the interest rates dropped. This is several years ago now. And really put a major push on making land available and building rental units. And they flooded the market, and that drove down the prices. And there was an interesting graph that showed the rental prices in average going up. Austin is going down slightly.
Interesting.
Yeah. So again, it was a timing problem or a timing solution, but at the same time, it's a way to make a significant difference in the cost of living
Right.
for a lot of people. And the same thing is true right now with a lot of these factory homes that I've seen pictures of the things that come in all folded up, and you unwrap them and unfold them,
Right.
and you got a house.
There you go.
And it's completely filled with all the appliances you need. It's ready to go.
Right.
And there's a whole debate going on. It's interesting about how do we get more affordable houses, and you have the ones that they're printing them like a big 3D project. And
Right. Well, does that help us solve our homelessness? Now, you can take a big 40-foot container and make that into a residence.
oh yeah,
Plumbing, electric, a bed. It's tight, it's small, but it might be just the right size to get someone off the streets, safe, undercover, and homed.
well, you can buy one and have it shipped in with everything in it. All
Okay.
you have to do is have some place to park it.
Right.
And
Right.
it's almost like a trailer park when you think about it, where people would get a trailer and they would move it into the trailer park, and it never went anywhere. They never hooked it up to anything
Right.
except the water and sewers.
Right.
And unfortunately, trailer parks got a tough
Right.
reputation.
There's some nice ones out
But,
there, though.
yeah, but And I think, again, using one of these 40-foot
Yeah.
shipping containers
Right.
as a basis, they come with a steel frame, you can insulate them, it's a good process, and that's, I think, something that needs to be encouraged more.
I would agree. I would
And,
agree. And on a city level, town levels, whatever it might be, there was a woman in Peabody, it was a few years ago, who had identified a lot. She talked with the mayor, she talked with me and the rep and the city, and she really wanted to. She said, I'll purchase the trailers. We'll figure out a way to do it. Unfortunately for that particular lot, which was downtown, there was no easy hookup to the sewer. There was no easy water access, to the water system. But let's take a look at, a lot or, a parking, abandoned parking, whatever it might be. Is there an opportunity?
Yeah, that gets to be another problem too when you say parking, because it takes two earners to afford anything, even
Right.
a condo.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have one parking space for every condo. Okay. But 2 people have to go to work. And chances are 2 people being able to take rapid transit to wherever they're working,
Right.
at least in this area, slim to none. So you're forced into 2 parking spaces.
Right.
And the other one I get a kick out of is they got a couple of condos downtown. They got a big parking lot behind them. If you get an EV, how are you going to charge it? Run an extension cord from your apartment, you know?
Right. Wow.
So it gets to be a challenge to figure out a lot of these things, and a lot of it comes down to better public transportation.
Right.
And I lived in Chicago for a year and got a job. First time I went to work. Drove up to the place, was on the other side of town. That was fine, and I got out at 5 o'clock and started driving back, and I was on at the time it was the Southeast Expressway.
Mm-hmm.
It's 6 lanes in each direction.
Wow.
It is a big thing. And I was parked there, and down the median strip goes the trains.
Oh. Oh.
And I looked at it. And where I was living, there's a L train was nearby, and that's it. I took the
You were
train
on
every
the
day,
train.
and it was a simple, straightforward trip. I had to walk maybe 2 blocks down to the station
Yeah.
and climb the stairs up to the train tracks, and
And off you went.
yeah, and got
That
to
makes
the
sense.
center of town, paid my 2 cents for a transfer, and
Yep.
got the next train going the other way. And it was a great system.
Right.
So, again, it can be done,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one of the challenges that Massachusetts has with the MBTA, I guess, that they're forever into a problem of how do we shut the trains down this week?
You know, with the T, it was kick the can down the road. We hear that all the time,
Yeah.
but it was. And, you know, administration after administration, legislature after legislature, didn't really take it on because it's so big to take on. But it gets to the point where you have no choice but to take it on, and that's what's happening now. You know, you just saw that we now have Acting Secretary Eng, who just was placed into that position yesterday, I believe.
Yeah,
And who has really been working to correct a lot of the maladies of the T, especially in Boston,
yeah.
you know, and surrounding Boston. So we have to fix it. We have to figure a way, and that's why rapid transit is, you know, front burner. And that's going to take a few years
Oh, yeah.
to make that happen. But it hasn't been on any burner, you know,
Yeah.
and now it is. So
Yeah.
it's going to take some time, but that's a focus and a priority.
And you get into some other interesting issues with comparing things being done in China compared to done in America. And the classic example right now is the rapid transit that was going to go between LA and San Francisco. They worked on it for 5-8 years, something like that, spent $8 billion, and they never laid 1 foot of track.
Oh, boy. Wow.
And in the meantime, China has put in 6 different high-speed rails. And I'm trying to have a discussion with one of the locals about what's the difference. And one of the big differences, I guess, is that China, the government, owns all the land. There is no such thing as a
taking or
of a environmental group saying, well, we don't think it ought to go here. It's going to be too noisy for the neighborhood, or
right, they do it.
yeah, it's. Well, and you think about
It's the
that.
greater good.
Well, you think about the Three Gorges Dam they built. Hundreds of thousands of people got picked up and moved to make room for that thing.
Yeah, right,
Between the dam itself and the flood behind it.
right.
So that was one thing, and the other one was a lot of the management in government has an engineering background opposed to the America, where a lot of the management has got a legal background and a different attitude to get involved in things.
Right.
So being an engineer,
Absolutely.
I recognize what the differences are when
Right.
you're trying to get something done.
Right. You know, they call that bureaucracy, right?
Yeah.
And so, and how do we cut through that just
Yeah.
to get things done? I mean, at the end of the day, we need to get it done.
Yeah.
And because it's going to be waiting for us when we wake up tomorrow.
Yeah, it doesn't
And-
go away by itself.
It does not.
Yeah.
Right.
And getting into that, there's, I think I mentioned to you, there's a rating system. Niche puts it out, and
Oh, yeah.
And Beverly is rated like 215. The high school is rated at 215
Right.
out of 239
Right. High schools.
for STEM.
Right.
And what I'm concerned about is, okay, how do we boost up the system? How do
Yeah.
we? Because that's the way the world is going right now.
Right. So we know that all curriculum and education comes out under the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education.
Yeah.
And there's grants available. And Beverly has taken advantage of those grants.
Yeah.
I was surprised about this number too. Beverly's school system is ranked higher in other areas.
Yeah, it's a B+ system.
Yeah, which is pretty good. So why is STEM? You know, is it our math MCAS scores? I mean, we're seeing math MCAS scores, you know, because of COVID and the interruption of education, that a lot of those scores have declined. But they're, you know, now they're coming back up. And, but, you know, so there are state grants available, and Beverly is aware of those grants and is going after those grants to be able to, again, reinforce likely math out of that STEM, to be able to get those scores back up and bring that number up. I was surprised at that number, and I can only surmise that it's because of the MCAS scores as a result of COVID.
And really, if you dig deeper into the data, the deterioration in scores started back in 2013, and COVID just made it worse.
Right.
And that's when I get into some of my other favorites of AI is everywhere,
Right.
and it's not going away.
Right.
And the game is you got to learn to use it. And the one that surprised me was Meta, that Facebook kind of thing.
Right.
If you want a job working for them, they give you a problem to solve in programming. And you are allowed to use AI
To solve the problem.
to solve the problem
Really?
on the test.
Interesting.
Because basically
No.
what it comes down to is you start with the AI answer, and then how do you improve it and make it work? Because the AI answer is, well, maybe it's close.
Right. Interesting. So
Yeah.
really, it tests your understanding of AI
Yeah.
and how that can be really properly used. You know, another thing, George, and you've got one right there, that's cell phone.
Yeah.
So now in schools, we're seeing that cell phones are put away during the class time, or during some schools, it's the entire, we just passed it, that, you know, you have to, that cell phone either stays home, but if you need it, right, it goes into a pouch at school or into a file or wherever it might be. So students aren't doing this during classroom time. It's such a distraction, and I get it. I can't live without my cell phone. It's in the other room in my bag.
Yeah.
You know, but it's with me all the time. It's really we're tethered to it. It's for information, to be in contact with family, and especially for students and parents. They want to be able to get in touch with each other. What if there's an emergency at school?
Yeah.
And actually, studies have shown that with emergencies at school, when kids are starting to text their parents about something's wrong, now they're not listening to, maybe you have to gather in a classroom, maybe you have to evacuate the building.
Yeah.
There's some panic there, and so it helps keep these kids focused as well. But once I think in the next couple of years, we're going to see a lot of difference that kids don't have access during classroom time to their cell phones because it's a distraction. And they'll really be able to concentrate on what the teacher is teaching.
Yeah. One of the old stories that goes back to laptops. They became very prevalent, at least in college at the time. And the professor walks into class and everybody's sitting there. They open up the laptop and they're sitting there ready to take notes and do other things. And there's one kid down in the front row reading the newspaper and says, "Look, what's the matter with you? What are you doing down there?" He says, "Well, my laptop broke."
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
So you start to wonder that any one of these devices is very seductive.
It's true.
And you can get trapped into it.
You come to depend on it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I've got notes right here in front of me, about what we're doing today, but I've got so many windows open on work that I worked on earlier today that I want to be able to go back to.
Yeah.
Before I end my work day, so I made sure I've completed these tasks. But you are absolutely right. It keeps me focused and online and on time. But you're right.
Well, that comes down to your personality has to be directed to the point of saying, "Hey, this is my job. This is what I'm doing. And I got to stay with this."
Right.
As opposed to click on YouTube and, "Oh, what's going on there?"
Right.
It's very
So we have teams in the State House, and so I have Teams chat with my team.
Yeah.
My staff, and we talk to each other. They could be sitting right next to me, and we could be doing this, but they're not.
Yeah.
I could be in the district, they're at the State House, and we are talking to each other all day long. Just quick little, what'd you find out about this?
Yeah.
Can I, just
Yeah.
information, and it's a godsend, actually. It
Yeah.
really does keep us in real time.
Well, one of the guys I know from the Y was talking about, he got into a meeting and they were talking about things that over his head, had no idea what they're talking about. So, well, they throw up one of these terms, click, click, click. Oh, that's what that means. And he was able to catch up and follow
Yeah.
the meeting
Yep.
simply by getting a translation of what some of these technical terms are.
I
So-
do that when I'm in a committee hearing and I'm a member of the committee. Sometimes someone will be testifying and they will say something that I'm not familiar with. I'm doing the same thing. I've got my laptop in front of me. I'm doing a quick little search, and then I go, "Oh, that's what that means." So
Yeah.
I can just follow along. I don't want to get lost.
Yeah.
And it's an expert that comes in, terminology I've never heard of before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's helpful.
Yeah. So believe it or not, we've had our half hour of fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And thank you very much for joining us this evening and bringing us up to date with what's going on downtown. And
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. And we will have more of these sessions, so stay tuned.